proud, but we're small, but we're mighty.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you for coming to Occupy the Courts. For those who are still unsure why we're here today, we're here because of the 2-year anniversary of the Citizens United ruling, which ruled that money is speech and corporations may give unlimited political contributions to campaigns. And this ruling was decided by the Supreme Court. It was decided by 5 people. It was a 5-4 ruling. So it was decided by 5 people, not by voters or representatives or anyone like that. And this ruling is one of the biggest threats to our democracy because unlimited money means unlimited advertising, which is the way campaigns get all their votes. So I just wanted to talk briefly about why we're here today. This is a symbolic protest. I mean, we're not actually shutting down the court or anything. So technically, this isn't civil disobedience. This is a public building paid for by our tax dollars, so we have just as much right to be here as anyone in this building. I also wanted to talk about Coordinated National Days of Action, which this is. This is a national protest. It's going on all around the country, even at the Supreme Court. And I think it's one of the greatest strengths of the Occupy movement that we have coordinated days of action, because it allows us to be more fluid and adapt to the situation. For instance, on December 12th, the port shut down. Oakland extended their shutdown because in response to the police brutality in Seattle. So they found out about the police brutality and they decided to keep going with their shutdown for an extra 12 hours. And so that was a way that we can show our power and show that we are in solidarity with other places around the country. And it also is a way to show our more widespread power. So instead of just shutting down one building or one street or striking in one city, we can do it across the whole country. So the goal for today is to spread awareness and to educate ourselves and to show dissatisfaction with our government that allowed this ruling to happen. And the goal for today is long-term, not short-term. We're not going to overturn Citizens United today. We're not going to overturn it this month. But the key to overturning it is awareness. And so that's what we're doing today.
This will be my greatest work. I'm about to achieve levels of greatness befitting a god, with the very ability to create life itself. My precious child, soon you will know what it is to think and to walk, how it feels to breathe and to love and to bribe politicians. Oh, precious child, your time is here.
Corporate lawyer / mad scientist wannabe Franklin Stein, Chief Counsel for Global Corp Inc., is fed up. Over the previous year, his beloved corporation has been sued by public interest groups, shouted at by occupiers, investigated by Congress, fined by regulators, and has experienced a labor strike by its workers. And now, in his outrage, lawyer Stein has devised a plan most diabolical. A plan that will suck the life out of a human being and infuse it into Global Corp to create a new form of life to be known as a corporate person. Okay, and I'm waiting for people to enter. As Stein readies his experiment, he's joined by Tim Bosley, the CEO of Global Corp, and the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court.
Evening, Franklin. I brought our honorable guest.
Well, Mr. Chief Justice, I'm so glad you could join us on this wonderful endeavor.
You know, Stein, Chief Justices don't normally make house calls.
Protect.
Say again? I couldn't quite hear you, Chief Justice. Could you
Chief
say that
Justices
again?
don't normally make house calls.
Your Honor, I know you'll be glad that you made this one exception. You see, we are about to achieve our finest feat Yet, after tonight, the troubles facing big business in America are over. From this night on, the American corporation will finally reign supreme in this land. Isn't that right?
As you know, Your Honor, those who keep meddling with the affairs of companies like Globocorp always do so in the pursuit of the so-called public interest. The public, or the people, if you will, are always poking their noses where they don't belong, starting protests, forming unions, filing class actions, you name it. It's this we the people who are the true enemies of the modern corporation.
Quite right, Tim. So the question, Your Honor, is, where do the people get all this legal power from? I mean, from what legal document is the power of the people established?
Constitution.
The U.S. Constitution. This one document has been used at every turn to keep us down.
Tonight, Mr. Chief Justice, we will turn the tables.
This machine is a little something I had the IT guys at Globocorp rig up earlier today. Think of it as a mobile version of the Supreme Court chambers to allow high court decisions to be made in the field. This module here allows you to extract the DNA of a live human subject. Here, let's test it. Franklin, if you will.
Yes, could I get hands up for any volunteers in the audience, please? Any volunteers at all? Would anybody at all like to volunteer? Anybody? Anybody at all?
Yes.
Anybody? Anybody else?
Yes.
Anybody else would like to Oh,
Please.
wow. Random citizen whom I've never met before. Would you like $20 to participate in our study to protect and enhance freedom and democracy?
Well, since my job was outsourced to India, I need the money.
Yes? Really?
Yes. Really.
There you go.
Sit right here. Do you mind holding this?
Now, let's begin stage one of the procedure. Hold that, please. Thank you. Now, as Tim was saying, this module will extract the subject's life essence.
My what?
Oh, no, not to worry. That's just a legal term. Perfectly safe.
Would you like to make it worth my while?
Yes. Here's another $5. There you go. There you go. Wow. Safety first. And disco. The life essence from the human is now commingled with all the constitutional data, reprocessed, reassembled, and fused into a single hybrid biolinguistic code, which we will soon confer into Globocorp.
Once the process is complete, enough life essence will have been transferred into the corporation for us to legally define the company as a person.
So, Globocorp will be turned into a person?
Nearly. The corporation will have all the constitutional protections of an actual human person. We call it corporate personhood.
As a legal person, the company will have all the legal protections the Founding Fathers intended to give only to America's human citizens. It will give us a standing to fight back and put the company on the same level as a real person.
Really, it's better than being on the same level because a corporation can already do all sorts of things a human can't. Like live for centuries, theoretically forever. And unlike a human, it can exist in more than one place at a time. It can't even be sent to prison or be given a death sentence.
Yes! And since it can't be punished in all the ways a human can, and since its owners are shielded from liability, the corporation, as a person, will have very little to discourage it from committing crimes. Really, it'll hardly have to face any consequences at all. With all the strengths of a corporation and the constitutional protections of a person, Global here will be a sort of super citizen with a combination of rights and powers that ordinary human citizens simply won't be able to control.
I'm in. Let me just check with the other justices and get a quick hold on it.
Oh man, I wasn't sure that was going to be so easy to sell to him.
Ye of little faith, Tim. After all, I am Franklin Stein, the greatest legal mind of our time. Sorry, Larry. And besides, I would never do anything wrong over this.
That's why I pay you the big bucks.
Okay, the other justices and I have cast our votes.
Great, so then, what say you?
Well, there were 3 or 4 nays, and the rest were all yeas.
Excellent. Now we can complete the procedure. Yeah, we'll call that 3 nays and 6 yeas. Okay, and it's perfectly safe to stand back, but within camera. Legally speaking.
Roboport then proceeds to run rampant throughout the United States and other nations, causing much chaos and many problems, never suffering the same liability that we face as individuals. It's a classic story of creation overpowers creator, much like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Instead of trying to regulate Globocorp, lawyer Frankenstein, CEO Tim Bosley, and the Chief Justice continue to grant Globocorp more and more rights. For example, a subsidiary of Globocorp spills massive amounts of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. Evidence indicates that the company has failed to properly assess, manage, and communicate the risk. Yet their report of the events and also government investigations blame multiple other companies. Barb.
Clean our oceans! Clean your spill! Clean our oceans! Clean your spill!
You can't possibly blame an entire corporation for one little thing gone wrong. Don't you understand? We're too big to be held accountable.
Yes, Mr. Stein, you're right. Overruled. You want the oil spill cleaned up? Make the taxpayers pay the bill.
We will pay. We will pay.
The Supreme Court established corporate personhood over 100 years ago. In addition, in a recent ruling in January of 2010 in a case called Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission, the Supreme Court ruled that money is speech and that corporations are entitled by the United States Constitution to buy elections and run our government.
Since corporations are people, and since we've decided that money is free speech, corporations can do whatever they want with the money, just like nature intended.
Are there any politicians around here? You have a politician look about you.
Why, yes, I'm a politician.
Oh, well, I like you. Will you keep my company's interests in mind if I stuff your pockets with some nice green paper to help finance your re-election?
Of course I will, thank you.
Continues to grow stronger with each day that passes. Help us stop
terrorizing
the
this
evolution
direction.
of corporate personhood before it's irreversible. The Occupy movement is a bold national grassroots movement. One of our goals is to revoke the illegitimate rights of corporations and give power back to the actual people. Corporations are just legal fictions and only human beings are people. You can learn more about this movement at movetoamend.org. Check out the website, sign the petition, and end corporate personhood. Thank you so much for could all hold hands and do this. You know, do this. You know, we'll have to hold hands and do the big now.
Here we go, Boris. Ready?
Ready?
And.